Hey there, Schwermetallisch here. Yeah, this week I had an interview with Andrea Tito of the band Black Phantom. They had a release called Zero Hours Now in 2020, and yeah, they have big plans for very, very cool things. So we sat down and chatted a bit, and yeah, just check it out, sit down, grab a cold one, and yeah, enjoy yourself and tell me about it. Comment, like, share, you know the drill. And most important of all, stay safe. Schwermetallisch, and today I'm Andrea Tito of the band
Hello, hello, hello. The
Oh,
connection is something strange. What is
yeah.
happening?
Okay, I think now it's fine. It was just from the start of the recording was like okay, it's back.
I see some background noises. Ooh,
Yeah, maybe it's better like that or like
okay.
that.
Uh, I see some metallic also when I speak.
Yeah, I have a microphone on the headset and one in front of me. I don't know if that interferes with each other, but it never did, so I don't know. Yeah,
Mhm.
your current.
Very noisy.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Well, I don't think it's me because before you started the recording, it was fine.
Yeah, that is strange. Yeah, okay, let's get back to business. You released a new record in 2020 called Zero Hours Now. That one was critically acclaimed,
Mhm.
and I also reviewed it and compared it quite a lot to Iron Maiden.
Yes, yes, we took it as a compliment, of course, because we are big fans of Iron Maiden, and we've always been, and basically they are part of our own way of playing our love of music, and so it is kind of natural for us that the music that comes out from our heart and from our hands is very similar to the bands that we like the most. And yes, we took it as a compliment, of course. And it is also true that many of the people who heard the record, the album, appreciated the genuinity of our proposal because they recognize that we don't want to imitate other bands, but this is the way we have grown, this is the way we do music, and it's just the way we are. And so the vast majority has understood this and appreciated the honesty.
Yeah, what I heard on that album, on that record, was that although you guys sound similar in a way to the big ones of the new wave of British heavy metal, you play more straightforward. Yeah, we every fan of Iron Maiden knows they are very playful, and you get in German it's called Maidengedudel.
Hmm.
It's like yeah, you know the lengthy solos and the yeah, I wouldn't call it masturbation because it's not like listening to Ingrid Malmsteen, but it's you know it's like this could be a straightforward song just going about 4 or 5 minutes, but Steve Harris and everyone involved just yeah fucks around with the melody and plays over lengthy yeah riffs and solos.
Yes,
So
you're
so
right.
it's
You're right, especially in the last part of their career, in the last records, they tend to, like I say, overplay and make overlength of the songs, repeating a lot, maybe much more than necessary,
yeah
the things I composed. Yes, basically, we are not that way. Well, our songs are very straightforward. and straight to the point, and most probably we will have in the future some songs which is more lengthy, but we keep to put more variety inside of it. But all in all, this is the way we write song, and they comes out without thinking too much about the structure. It is kind of natural, because when we write the song, we already have the idea of how it should sound, the structure and so on, without thinking too much about it is sound too much like this or like that. So we're satisfied by this way of songwriting.
I'd like to compare this to the different styles of writing of Stephen King and Dean Koontz, because Stephen King is always like Iron Maiden. He sometimes describes a tree over, I don't know, 15 pages. Like, okay, I get it. It's a tree, so hey, and his contemporary Dean Koontz. He has a very similar style of building stories and pressure and horror, but he's more straightforward. It's like he will describe a tree in 2 lines. It's like, there's a tree, it's high, and the name of the tree, and that's it. Everyone knows this is the tree.
Well, you are right, because I read a lot of books by both Stephen King and also Dean Koontz, especially when I was younger. And what you say is completely true, because that's the way they write. And I want to mention a book about Dean Koontz, which is called Phantoms, which is kind of an inspiration from Black Phantom.
Phantoms is also a great movie, I think. I still like the movie.
I just read the book, so I love the book.
The movie's got Liev Schreiber and Ben Affleck, and even Peter O'Toole.
Okay, I have to check it out then.
And there's a scene with a I don't know, it's a moth, a giant moth, breaking through a window and eating the face of some guy. And it's really cool.
Okay, I have to write it down and look for it, definitely.
I can send it to you, no problem. I really like the artwork of 0 Hours now. This looks a lot like there's a character in Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas. Well, somehow, I don't know the inspiration that our painter took. Basically, this is painted by a guy from Moldavia, and which is called Snagglestab, and he already painted the cover from our first album, Better Beware, in 2017, and he is the one who created the character of the Phantom, of the Black Phantom, because I just gave him the brief, telling him that I wanted to look very evil, very nasty, and reminding somehow of the character from Mickey Mouse Enemy, which is called the Black Blot. I don't know.
Yeah.
We wanted to do a modern version of the Black Blot, and of course much more evil and scary. And he took this brief, and then he comes up with this impressive artwork of the Black Phantom. And in the first album artwork, it's in the middle of a city, and he's very scary. But in this particular cover, he's even scarier because there is more scarification on his face, and you can see his fangs coming up. And I think he did a really great job taking this new concept of the hour, so of the time, which is the title of the album, 0 Hours Now, and match it with the character of the Black Phantom.
The funny thing is the character you're referring to, the Walt Disney character. In Germany, it's really just the Phantom.
Really, just Phantom?
Das Phantom.
Das Phantom. In Italy, it's called Macchia Nera, which is a black spot. Macchia is a stain, a spot, and I chose this also when I decided the name of the band itself, Black Phantom, inspired by the Black Blot, because I wanted to have a name which was somehow scary and that could be matched with a character, a painting. And so I reminded which was a character that in my youth scared me, and it was the Black Blot, because at the beginning the stories against Mickey Mouse versus Mickey Mouse were very evil. He was a very evil character. He wanted to kill Mickey Mouse in the first stories. Then during the years, it kind of mellowed, and the story are quite easier. But at the beginning, you're talking about guns, blades, and really wanted to kill Mickey Mouse. So I took this inspiration for the name of the band itself, and then also for the artwork it developed itself.
I just googled it in the background, and I must say the cover of the first record, I like that much better because you see more of the body of the Phantom, and also if you look at the knees, you see it's like a cloth. It's like yeah,
Exactly.
it's a rope kind of stuff he's wearing, just like the Black Blot in the comics. So
Exactly. Yes, this was
yeah.
the first presentation of the character, and then with the new album Zero Hour Is Now, it's a detail of his hands more near the face.
So yeah, your record came out on the 20th of March last year. The perfect year for a title like Zero Hour Is Now.
Really.
Yeah.
This is something that last year, because it was at the beginning of the pandemic, as you know, many people tell us, 0 Hours Now, we're talking about the virus, the pandemic, and of course no, because when we wrote the song, when we decided the title, it was 2019, so we didn't know, of course, anything about that. So I think we brought bad luck with the title.
Yeah, kind of.
Bad luck that came up to us, because when you release an album specifically at the beginning of a pandemic, it's really bad luck for us, because we had to cancel, as you can imagine, all the concerts, all the gigs, all the promotional activity, cancel from day one. Everything has gone to hell. And
Yeah.
so this bad luck came back to us, frankly speaking.
Yeah, that's always unfortunate to have to cancel everything. Um, so when was the last time you had the chance to play a gig?
Oh, we're talking about, I think it was in May 2019. We did a gig supporting Rhapsody of Fire. You know Rhapsody of Fire? Yes.
Yeah.
We did a gig here in north of Italy. We were the supporting band, we and Metedas. And this was a last gig because the last week we entered the studio to record the album. So it was 2019 in May, because we recorded the album from the end of May, starting of June, for the next 3 or 4 months. Then basically we delivered the master of the record by the end of 2019, and in March 2020 the album came out. So it's been a long time since we played live. We're really missing that, of course.
Yeah, that's most bands yeah played in the beginning of 2020 their last gigs, and you yeah May 2019 is that's a extremely long time for a band. I get that. So I saw that you had quite a few bands you played in: Black Phantom, Mesmerize, and of course Deadlocks, Nemesis, and Total Eclipse.
Yes, this name are the, how can I say, the first bands that I had many years ago. Deadlocks and Total Eclipse were when I was in high school. I think that the most important band of my career is Mesmerize, because I played with them for 30 years. So we did many records, a lot of gigs, and we still exist as a band, even if we're not playing that much anymore. We play just one concert a year or something like that, but we still exist. And currently now I'm much more active with Black Phantom, with the new songs, with the records, and another a lot of opportunities that we have nowadays.
I think if this pandemic had happened, say like 15 years ago,
Mhm.
many bands would have bigger problems now than nowadays, because in the last decade or two, the music business changed a lot, and almost every musician has a side job to maintain their living. And just imagine you would live from the music, solely from the music, no job
Uh,
aside, nothing else.
it would have been a real disaster, frankly speaking, if it happened 10 or much more 20 years ago, because there were musicians who lives with the music. You are right. Basically, as far as I know, it's a very small number of people that rely on just the music to live nowadays. And nowadays it's even more difficult, also because the main revenue, I can say, source that you can have as a musician are the live gigs that are not there anymore. So,
Yeah.
and all that is connected. So the live gigs, the sales of CDs and albums, the sales of T-shirt, merchandise. Basically, you have cancelled everything with a snap, and it's very difficult. It's very difficult, of course.
But it's great that people have side jobs nowadays, so you have something to fall back into.
Yes, this is the plan B that everybody had, and it's we are really taking care of this opportunity that we have.
So of course everyone wants to tour, everyone wants to play gigs. Is there new material in the works at the moment?
Yes, a huge lot of material, because as you know, since the release of the album in March, we had planned to do a lot of gigs around, and everything was cancelled. So what can I do? Basically,
Yeah.
I write a lot of song, and when I say a lot, it's really a lot. Too much also, because we're talking about since the beginning. Now we have 27 new songs. 27 is a kind of a lot from us. I've always written a lot, but this lot, not really. We have 27 songs, and also working with my singer Manuel. He wrote the lyrics, not for the lines for that. I wrote the lyrics, and then now we are looking at a big bunch of new song, and we have to decide what to do with this 27 song. And I don't think we will record them all. In fact, we have selected 10 or 11 of them, and these will be the ones we will record as soon as possible.
I instantly thought 2 records, 2 EPs.
Well, that would be great, but writing the song, as you know, is kind of easy, because it comes straight from our heart, straight from our hands, and kind of feels natural. Then you have to have all the musicians of the band to learn the song, and then you have to record the song, which takes time and money in the studio. So it's not so immediate as writing. So uh, I can say that we cannot, of course, do 2 records, 3 EPs, or so on. I think there's 27 songs is the bunch for at least 2 records and a half.
Yes.
So we are set for the next 3, 4, 5 years. And
That's great.
well, that's great. The fact is that I have to stop writing any more songs because if within a year I have another 20 songs, we are fucked, basically.
Yeah, you could still outsource some of those songs to Mesmerize.
Well, I don't know because nowadays we kind of write and play different styles because Mesmerize is not so classic metal as Black Phantom. During the years they are more on the thrash side, more I can say pounding metal, more heavier, let's say. So the thing doesn't really match. And by the way, I've written also a couple songs for Mesmerize eventually. So if we want to to buy something, I also have a couple for them.
If I would be able to compose skill wise, I would take the bad days to write thrash metal and the good days to write classic metal.
Yes. Well, you cannot really tell. But frankly speaking, on the good days, I think about everything except writing songs. I
Okay, so
always
that's
write
that's
songs
that's
on the
another
bad
thing.
days.
Yeah, it's a good day. I will lay on the couch.
Anything but writing song. No, the fact of having the pulse, the impulse to write new song is because something is not right or because you feel the need to say something, and this the usually happens on bad days.
Yeah, I know. I mostly write reviews and stuff when I get a bad day to get my mind off of the topics that bother me,
Exactly.
and it works. That is
That's
it's
great.
keeping me sane. That's really good, and I think it keeps people around me sane too.
That's great.
So what are your future plans aside from that new material and gigs? Are there some other projects for the band?
Well, frankly speaking, the fact that we had so many songs, you talked about outsourcing. We did something similar because apart from the songs that will go in the new record, we have had a lot of deals with filmmakers, with I can say, film companies in America and in England. So we are contributing to soundtracks of movies, and we started to get in contact with some of them last year, let's say in June, and then a lot of things developed because we found a lot of interest in our music, and so as of now we have 7 movies that we will give our song for the soundtrack. And this we're talking about independent movies, so we're not talking about Hollywood or colossal Marvel Studios. No, we're not talking about that. But independent production. Some of them are very nice also in terms of budgets and special effects and so on. Basically, are horror movies. Some are science fiction. Basically, we like both, so we are kind of set. So we are happy about that, and we are giving both already released songs, so taken from our 2 albums, but also we have written and we have to record new songs completely unreleased specifically for that movies. So this is something different compared to the usual album gigs and so on, because it is funny, it is very nice, and it gives us the possibility to, okay, say, to move forward and to keep us occupied during this period of lockdown, and also to make the name of Black Phantom move around a little bit and get new people to know us. So this is what we have in the works as of now.
That sounds like really great news, because horror fans like metalheads are a very devoted crowd, and I think that can can win people over to listening to you guys. Well, that's really great. When thinking of horror and metal, I always think of the 80s horror movies. They it got
Exactly.
the best soundtracks.
Exactly, you're right. And this is exactly the idea that came to us because we thought about, you know, basically in 1985, I got to know Iron Maiden because they were in the soundtrack of Phenomena, the film by Dario Argento. You know, Dario Argento is one of the most famous Italian um, directors of horror movies,
Yeah,
and they had this kind of soundtrack. But also, if you think about other movies, just like Nightmare, that had Bruce Dickinson in the soundtrack, or Shocker that had
yeah, Shocker.
Megadeth, Shocker with No More Mr. Nice Guy with Megadeth, and the Shocker theme song,
Paul Stanley, yeah.
Bon Star of Kiss,
Shocker. Yeah,
exactly. And you're
great.
right. This is the idea we had in mind because heavy metal, classic heavy metal, let's say, and horror movies of the 80s were a perfect match. And
Yeah.
so this is the idea that came to us to develop this cooperation.
It's just perfect cross promotion. You can advertise a movie while advertising your music, and it's like the additional piece of chocolate to lure people into your universe and say, here you have a great movie to enjoy yourself with, and hey, there's a great soundtrack too, and yeah, that is it's really clever.
Yes,
I like
thank
that
you.
idea.
That's the idea. And I can add one thing that we can also have interesting videos because I give you an example. Last Saturday, we filmed some footage of us playing. We did it in our rehearsal room, and this footage is going to England, and I will make a video clip for the film Creatures that will mix our images with the images of the film. So in classic 80s style, and we will have this video clip with for the song Hordes of Destruction, which is a song from the album Zero Hours Now. It's song number 2. And we finally will have a video, and it will be also a nice one because the movie itself has some great special effects. It is about aliens coming to conquer Earth, and so they kill a lot of people, blood everywhere, and so a lot of special effects, very nice. And so it's a pleasure and a honor for us to have a video clip like that in order also to promote not just the film but also our music and our album.
Okay, I have to buy 7 movies.
I will send you something myself.
Yeah, that's. I'll have a corner then with vinyls and the movies. I still have to buy a record player. It's my next mission because
to
vinyl
listen
is.
to all the vinyls, of course.
Yeah, of course, and because an artwork like that looks better in on a vinyl than on a CD, and it looks good on a CD, but in that size, it's always more awesome. If you could final question for me for today, if you could play any lineup for a tour or a festival. With which bands would you like to share the stage?
Wait, this is a this is a easy question. Of course, it would be a dream come true to play with Iron Maiden, of course, but also because I love German bands. There are some of the most famous German bands, which are Halloween, Gamma Ray, and stuff like that, and Iron Savior, for example. We played with Iron Savior 2 years ago, by the way, here in Italy when they came here. And then also I love some of the classic thrash metal from USA. So Anthrax is one of my favorite, and also make
Belladonna.
Joe Belladonna, but Frank Bello, Charlie Benante, basically they're all Italian, so we could understand each other. And uh, and also Megadeth, of course, because we're talking about the history of heavy metal. I'm really looking forward to hear the new album of Megadeth, because the last one they did, Dystopia, was fantastic, a real back to the roots, and I heard that the new one will be again back to the roots. So since I grown up with that kind of music, I'm really looking forward to hear that.
Yeah, I hope my connections are good enough to get my hands on the review of the next Megadeth,
Yeah, that
and
would be great.
maybe someday make an interview with someone like Dave Mustaine. That would be really rad.
Definitely, definitely, because he's one of the last big names that made the history of heavy metal, and he's still around, kicking ass. He's a really great guy.
Yeah, I think it's he's an interesting person. I don't know if we would get along pretty good. I don't know because I read his biography and he seems like a interesting character.
Indeed, indeed.
Not an easy character, but interesting 100%. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that movies and your next record. And thanks very much for your time, Andrea.
Thanks to you, Dennis. It's been a pleasure, really.
And we can repeat this when you get new stuff news out. And I would really look forward to talking to you again.
It will be a pleasure for me, really.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Dennis.
Yeah, have a nice evening.
Same to you.